History remembers them as unbreakable allies, brothers in arms who changed the world together. But what if the story we've been told is a carefully crafted illusion? What if the handshakes and victory parades hid a darker truth of betrayal, rivalry, and secret agendas? Today, we peel back the polished veneer of history to expose the shocking realities behind the world's most famous alliances. The iconic images show them united against a common enemy. The reality? It was a partnership born of pure necessity, riddled with deep-seated mistrust. From the very beginning, the Western Allies and the Soviet Union were playing a dangerous game of chess. He famously wrote about his desire to strangle Bolshevism in its cradle. But even he wasn't naive. American and British intelligence agencies were actively spying on their Soviet allies, trying to uncover their military secrets and political intentions. The tensions were palpable. At the Tehran Conference in 1943, while they planned the D-Day invasion, they were also secretly carving up spheres of influence. Stalin pushed relentlessly for a second front in Europe to relieve pressure on his Red Army, suspecting the West was deliberately letting the Soviets and Germans bleed each other dry. Meanwhile, Churchill was advocating for an invasion through the Balkans, what he called the soft underbelly of Europe, not just for strategic reasons, but to block the Soviet advance into the region. It was a partnership of convenience where each leader was constantly calculating, looking for an angle that would benefit their own nation's interests once the dust settled. The moment the war ended, this fragile alliance shattered, freezing over into the Cold War. The brothers in arms became the world's two new superpowers, locked in a decades-long standoff that brought the world to the brink of nuclear annihilation. The seeds of this conflict weren't planted after the war. They were sown in the very meetings where they plotted their shared victory. Let's rewind further to the American Revolution. We all know the story. The French, inspired by liberty and a desire to stick it to their old rivals, the British, came to the aid of the fledgling United States. Lafayette became an American hero, and the French Navy's intervention at Yorktown was decisive. But was it truly a love affair with democracy? Not quite. For the French monarchy, it was cold, hard geopolitics. King Louis XVI's government was on the verge of bankruptcy. Supporting a costly war overseas was a massive gamble. But the potential prize was too tempting to ignore, crippling Great Britain, their primary global competitor. They wanted to avenge their humiliating defeat in the 7 Years' War and reclaim their status as the dominant power in Europe. The French, in turn, were often frustrated by the Continental Army's disorganization and what they saw as American naivety. After the victory at Yorktown, the French were stunned when the American delegates, John Adams and Benjamin Franklin, negotiated a separate peace treaty with Britain without consulting them. The French had gambled everything, and in the end, the alliance achieved its goal of weakening Britain, but at a catastrophic cost. America got its independence, but its first great ally was pushed into a revolutionary spiral. In 1950, Mao Zedong's New People's Republic of China and Stalin's Soviet Union signed a treaty of friendship, alliance, and mutual assistance. The USSR provided China with immense economic aid, technological expertise, and even the foundational knowledge for its nuclear program. His successor, Nikita Khrushchev, denounced Stalin's cult of personality and introduced policies of de-Stalinization and peaceful coexistence with the West. Mao was furious. He openly criticized Khrushchev, positioning himself as the new leader of the global communist movement. The ideological dispute quickly escalated into a national rivalry. The Soviets abruptly withdrew all their advisors and technical aid from China in 1960, leaving hundreds of industrial projects unfinished. The two nations started competing for influence in developing countries across Asia, Africa, and Latin America. Thousands of soldiers were killed. For a brief, terrifying moment, the world held its breath as the Soviets contemplated a preemptive nuclear strike against China's nascent nuclear facilities. The so-called unbreakable Communist Brotherhood had devolved into a bitter feud that was arguably more dangerous than their shared rivalry with the United States. This split would have profound consequences. It eventually pushed China to seek a shocking new partner. In 1972, Richard Nixon, a fierce anti-communist, made his historic visit to Beijing, completely redrawing the map of the Cold War. The ultimate irony is that the breakup of the Sino-Soviet alliance was perhaps one of the most significant factors leading to the West's eventual victory. These stories aren't exceptions. They are the rule. Alliances throughout history are rarely about friendship or shared values. They are complex temporary arrangements based on mutual interest, strategic calculation, and a healthy dose of paranoia. The moment the balance of power shifts or the common enemy is defeated, these partnerships can and often do fall apart in spectacular fashion. The smiles in the photographs and the lofty words in the treaties often conceal a world of espionage, backroom deals, and simmering rivalries. History teaches us that in the high-stakes game of international relations, there are no permanent friends or permanent enemies, only permanent interests. The allies of today could easily be the adversaries of tomorrow. It's a crucial lesson, a reminder to always look beyond the headlines and question the official narrative. The real story is always more complicated and far more interesting. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the hidden corners of history.